loves, if you're new here, my name is Lily. I am an anxious girl who loves to read, and if you're not new here, then welcome back. Let's do a reading vlog. It's been a while since I've done one of these, and I was thinking that we were going to do a little bit of a how much do I read in a week. Now, every week fluctuates, it's different. It's just fun, something to keep track of and like have a purpose for this reading vlog. We also have a couple of new releases that we are going to be jumping into this week, and I'm very excited for that. So it's Tuesday, so I'm a little bit late in starting this, but you'll probably already have seen Monday. But I just had a wee little shower, had some lunch, put on my new shirt, which I think is really cute. It's bookish, H&M, they slayed. And I've made a snack. I'm gonna get comfy and read. And I started A Dance of Lies yesterday because I received it yesterday. And the cover is stunning, and so far I'm really enjoying it. I'm only like 51 pages in, so it's like the story's just started. I think it's gonna go one way, but I've also heard that it's gonna do like a bit of a 180, so I'm kind of waiting for that twist and turn still. But so far so good. I like the writing style. I'm very excited because I just received Wild Reverence by Rebecca Ross, and I loved the Divine Rivals duology, so I have been frothing at the mouth to read this one, and so I will be probably picking this up immediately after A Dance of Lies. And I just need to give a little shout out to whoever designed this book, because do you see that? That is stunning, and the end papers. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. So I am very excited to jump into this. So we will be reading this in this vlog as well. These are the two we have physically so far. The third one we'll have soon. And let's get reading. Update time. I think this is our first like real reading update. I got through a big chunk of this book last night. I was absolutely hooked once I actually sat down to start reading, because I feel like with every fantasy book the first like 50 to 100 pages are a little bit slow, just because like you need to orient yourself in this new world and you need to get into the like mindset of the main character. So the first like 100 pages are always a little bit slow in any new fantasy book, or maybe it's just me that's slow to like understand these things. But I feel like once you got all of that down, this story really took off. Now, I'm not entirely sure who the love interest is. I know who I want it to be, because one of them's my favorite, but I like both of them that are possible love interests, because it's a little bit unclear. I feel like it's more about, I feel like the romance so far is a subplot, and the romance is kind of, sorry, their work is outside and they are drilling, so I hope you can't hear that. But I feel like the romance is rather like a result of the plot, because it's like a part of the plot, but it's also a subplot. It's not the main plot, because there's so much going on. There's so much intrigue and mystery. And I am just as lost as the FMC is, because she doesn't have all the information. Like when the book starts, she has just got out of prison and she's offered this deal by the king who imprisoned her that like, spy for me at this gathering, do everything I tell you, and I will pardon you of the crime that you didn't commit, because she didn't commit a crime, but she was convicted for it and she served 2 years. And I love the representation of chronic illness, and that she is like, she has battles within herself, within her past, with her traumas, as well as everything new that she's facing because of this job that she now has as a spy, and like all of the intrigues that come with that. And I am eating this up. I am obsessed. I am so excited. I have half of the book left. I am pretty sure I will finish that today. I have half an hour until I need to get ready to go and have a coffee with my dad. I'm obsessed. I don't know why more people aren't talking about this book. I've seen some people talk about this book, but not nearly enough. So I'm gonna read for like half an hour up until I absolutely have to leave, and then I will come back and continue reading for like the rest of the evening. So it's Friday. I am looking a little rough, but you know what? That's fine. I'm gonna have a little bit of a self-care Friday in a couple of hours, but I need to go grocery shopping. I need to do some errands. I didn't see the reason to like get myself really fresh and ready to do that when I can like have a bath tonight and just do some self-care tonight. So hence this situation. That's not the reason why we're here. I didn't talk to you at all yesterday on Thursday, but you did see some clips. But on Wednesday I finished this, and oh my god, 5 stars. That simple. 5 stars. Like, this book, when it got going, and the twist that I said that I had that like the book would take a different turn than you expected, it didn't come until the like very end. And the end, I need the next book. I need the next book more than I need my next breath. Like, this is, you know that feeling when you pick up an amazing fantasy book that just the story just envelops you. It wraps its arms around you and it drags you into it, and you can't escape. You don't want to get out. You want to stay there forever because it's so, just everything was so vivid. I could see everything. I could feel everything. I could like hear everything. It's just, I was in this world. I lived through this. It was that like vividly happening to me. It's been a while since I've read one of those stories that like envelops me that much, especially fantasy. Highly recommend. Like, it was absolutely amazing. And then yesterday I started Wildcard. So on Thursday I got 144 pages into Wildcard, and I don't know how I feel about this yet. I'm not hooked. I'm not super invested. I like the friendships. I like seeing the familiar characters that we know and love. The first couple of chapters, Bash just felt a little icky, and Bash is Sebastian, Bash is his nickname, and he's the main male character. And then we have Gwen, who is our main female character. I like Gwen. I don't feel like we've gotten very close to Gwen. We've gotten hints of getting close to Gwen. The beginning of the story felt like they got attached to each other. Like, they spent a night at an airport together, not in a sexy way, but like just being stuck in an airport because every flight got cancelled, and they run into each other and they hang out that night together. And then it becomes this massive thing, and it's like, you spent one night together. One night. It can't be that deep. Like, it can't, you spoke for like 7 hours. Can it be that deep that fast? And I feel like men who throw their fists into walls and yells at women, not very sexy and really icky. And he's a grown man. He's like early 40s. Like, he was 39 when they first met, and then it's been a couple of months or maybe a year. So he's 40, around there somewhere. And you're acting like that. Like, I don't like it. It's just, I'm not sold on him. It's a little bit pathetic for a grown man to behave like that. I like Crazy Clyde. We're getting a lot more of Crazy Clyde in this. And if you read the other books, you know who Crazy Clyde is. And I like that aspect of it. But I just feel like it's a bit juvenile, the romance. It's a bit shallow, and it's like, you're grown people and you've been avoiding each other for 100 pages. They've been avoiding each other after the first like 44 pages that brought us into the story. It's just them trying to avoid each other because they're both acting like they're in middle school. Like, it's getting on my nerves. And I'm like, just talk. You're adults. Just use your words. I love Elsie Silver, but I'm feeling like this might not be it for me. I don't really care what happens. I don't really want them to get together. I feel like Gwen can do better, and that Bash needs to go to therapy, and Crazy Clyde just needs to go on being Crazy Clyde because we love him as he is. That's where I'm at. And if it wasn't so easily consumable, and if I like wasn't able to read it as fast as I am because it's easily consumable, because it's written in a way that's like light and easily consumable, and if it weren't for the fact that I like Crazy Clyde and Gwen, I would be DNFing this. Hello guys, it's Saturday. I woke up feeling like I had been run over with a truck. I knew it was coming, but I woke up and that time of the month had started. I have such a headache. I'm like, every inch of my body hurts. My back is, I don't even know. I'm in so much pain at the minute that I can barely think, and my brain feels like it's been stomped on. I'm not going to be doing much today. I've just watched the Superman movie, the new Superman movie, and I absolutely loved it. It was so good, and the like underlying themes and connections to what is going on in our world, like I was like tearing up throughout the whole thing. So if you haven't seen the new Superman movie yet, you really should, because it's so good. Finished Wildcard yesterday, and what I said previously kind of stands. I love Elsie Silver, like I love Elsie Silver so much, but this just wasn't for me. I couldn't get over how Bash came across in the beginning. I felt like he was at a lot of moments like the definition of a man-child. I also I understand his issues within himself that he was working on, but I felt like they were so overpowering that they overshadowed Gwen. It felt like Gwen, who I really liked and wanted more of and to get closer to, it felt like she was so centered around him in her own chapters that she just kind of was drowned out by him. When she wasn't with him in her own chapter, she was thinking about him, and it felt like she was thinking about him in every single chapter and like never thinking about herself. She was just thinking the same things about her past over and over again in her chapters. We didn't get any like not new things, but we didn't get to see her like work through it, because he was working through so much, because he was learning how to be an adult and use his words, and she was kind of his teacher. And that, coupled with the age gap and the events that happened when they first met, it just made everything feel very shallow to me. It made their relationship feel like a bit of a red flag to me. I feel like because it was so like insta connection, then so much drama because of that insta connection, where like it was just blown so much out of proportion for what their first meeting was and how little they could like, it felt like a relationship based on lust and not love, because they spent so much of the book trying to avoid each other because it's like taboo relationship, because she dated his son and yada yada. So they didn't like get to know each other, and then once they actually like got together, they still hadn't spent any time like actually talking and getting to know each other apart from their first meeting, which made their relationship feel extremely shallow to me. So because I loved Gwen and Crazy Clyde's relationship, because they are hilarious together, and because I loved all of the cameos from West and Skylar, who are also hilarious, and Ford and Rosie, I think her name is, and because I liked the humor in the book. And again, I'm gonna emphasize Gwen and Crazy Clyde was the best duo. They were hilarious. I loved them together. Elsie is amazing, like with Harvey from Chestnut Springs. She's amazing at writing really, really funny characters, because Crazy Clyde was hilarious and he really tugged on my heartstrings. For those reasons only, this is going to be a 2.5. And those reasons are the only reasons why I finished the book. I'll update you later once we've jumped into Wild Reverence, which I am so excited for, because Rebecca Ross, she can always tug on my heartstrings. Divine Rivals, so good. So I'm really, really excited. Guys, it is Sunday, the last day of this reading vlog. I might film just a short little wrap up tomorrow just to tie it off with a bow, but it's the last day we are checking our reading, and I'm still on Wild Reverence. As you've seen, I read some in the afternoon, no wait, not afternoon, in the morning, which wasn't really morning because I really slept in because I'm still not feeling that well. And this has been my little, you can see I have my blankets and everything, because this has been my little nest for the last 24 hours. I read like 135 pages of this yesterday, and then I read like a little over 100 pages earlier today. So I'm a little more than halfway through. And like Rebecca Ross's writing is absolutely stunning. Like the woman can write. She knows how to write. She knows how to write prose. Like, it is beautifully written. I did feel like this, I don't know if it's, I mean, it is in first person POV, but it's kind of like someone is telling this to someone else. Like the first person POV is telling someone else about this that has happened. So the things that have happened are in the past, but it is being told in first person. It would be like, I told you, like, this morning I made a hot chocolate and little did I know what was going to happen next. Like, it's like that. So it really reads very storytelling-y. That's not a word, but it really feels like a lot like storytelling in a different way than novels usually are. But then that way of writing it kind of makes it a bit slow for me. There are moments where chapters end and I'm like, oh, I need to know what happens next, I need to know. And then there are moments in chapters where I'm just like, can we kind of move it along a little bit? And I especially felt that in the beginning, because it's like the beginning starts when the FMC has been born and she's like recounting things from her very, very early years. And she's a godchild, so like godchildren probably function differently than human children, but it's still like, that was a bit slow for me, but we really got close to our FMC. But also the storytelling form kind of makes the story feel, I feel a little bit distanced from it, because it's already happened, it's not happening. And it's also like, I can do with those like little did I know what was coming kind of hints once or twice, but I feel like they're used kind of a lot. Other than that, I think it's beautifully written. I really like the FMC, I really like the world building. I love that we get to be in the Divine Rivals world, but be closer to the gods and get to know more of the gods, because that wasn't a massive part of the world building in Divine Rivals. The focus was more on the Romans and the main characters and their storyline together, and the gods were more like just a little bit interweaved with that, but it was more of a like hindrance to that pair. When this is, we're getting a lot more information on the gods and how their, you know, hierarchy is and how it works, and also like Dakra and Enva, and they are involved in this, and we know them from Divine Rivals, but in Divine Rivals we don't get to meet that many more gods or like even hear about them, if at all. I can't actually remember. So like, I love that part, and I do love the slow burn. I really love the moments when the FMC and MMC are together, I really do. So I have mixed feelings. I will definitely finish it, like it's not like no doubt about it, it's not no dislike in that way, but it's not a 5-star read because of those other aspects. I'm not getting 5-star vibes, but for the reasons that I explained. I don't know where I'm going with this, but I feel like it's looking to be like a solid 4-star, unless like the next half is absolutely incredible in every single way, shape and form, you know. But I am having a fun time. It is a beautiful fantasy book. Mum and I are going to make some snacks, and then we're going to watch the latest episode of Blood on My Blood, and after that I would probably edit some more and then read some more before going to bed. Good morning, well, good afternoon. It's Monday and it's the day where this video is coming up, so this is our wrap up, and then I need to edit it and post it. But I have a little cup of hot chocolate and I have the last book, and I did not finish it. I have like 100 pages left, maybe, if that. Pretty much exactly, because it's 526 pages long and I am on page 426. So I have exactly 100 pages left. I read, what was it, 200 something pages yesterday. And I think what I said before pretty much still stands. It's looking to be a 4-star read. I enjoy the storytelling, I enjoy the twists and turns, I like the world building, I like the characters. I just feel like I feel a little bit removed from the story because of the way it's being told. I feel like the stakes don't feel as high because you're like prepared for a twist because of the language, how the language is like, not the language, but like how the storytelling is being told. It feels like you're sitting down at a fire, which is very cozy in and of itself, with like, say Matilda, when it's her perspectives, and she is telling you this story that happened to her. like, or her story, like she's telling you her story. That's what it feels like, which feels very like fable like, and I really like that aspect of it. But it's also like removing the stakes a little bit, and it is making me feel a little bit more distant from the characters, because she's recounting things that happened, and she's recounting her own emotions in those moments, rather than us being there with them when things happen and feeling their emotions in real time, if that makes sense. Like that's just my personal opinion. So this is looking to be a 4-star, I think, with 100 pages left, unless the story takes a crazy turn at the end, or like the story takes a turn for the worst in a massive way that I don't like. It will end up being a 4-star. Like it would have to be quite a big thing that's bad, in my personal opinion, for me to go, it's gonna be a 3-star. But as always, like, you can always check my book talk or bookstagram, which is Lily the Bibliophile, or Lily the Bibliophile with 3 Y's, because my other account was hacked on Bookstart, so I had to change it. But you can always check those socials for my full review, because one will come up in one of those forums. So that was Wild Reverence, and that wraps up, that was violent, wraps up our reading week. It was a good week of reading, a very good week of reading. We started the week with a 5-star, which was absolutely amazing. I read 2 books, or yeah, 2 whole books almost. I was like 50 pages into, no, because I started it on Monday. So yeah, from start to finish I read 2 whole books, and then like 5/6 of a third book, so almost 3 books. And that, I did the maths, and that means that in total this week I read 1,294 pages, which is not bad. I never really, you know, look at how much pages I read in a week, or even like keep track of, I keep track of the, in my reading journal, the dates in which I read that book of the month, but I never keep track of like Monday through Sunday how many books I read in that week. It's a little bit interesting for myself, at least, to see how many books I tend to read in one week. The last time I did this, which was many months ago, I had like such a reading spree, and I got really hooked on a series, and I read like 4 books in 3 days, which isn't the norm. So I was like, okay, that's not, it was a good week to do a video like that, but it wasn't like what a typical week would look like. I feel like this is more of a typical week for me. But if you read half a book in a week, or if you read 6 books in a week, that is equally as good, and you are equally as much of a reader. And if you finish an audiobook in a week, I finished an audiobook this week. The only reason why I didn't count the audiobook is because I don't know how to turn hours into pages, but I was doing a reread of Clockwork Prince, and I finished, I think I listened to like 70% of it this week and finished it this week. So that in and of itself would account to quite a lot of pages. So if you listen to an book this week, that's absolutely amazing as well, and just as worthy, and you're just as much of a reader. So I don't want this to be any like competition or prestige in it. This is just, I think things like this are very interesting. Like, if you've seen my flip through on my reading journal video, you would know that I keep track of a lot of things in there, and I like the control of it, and I like to gather knowledge about myself as a reader and my preferences, and just general information about myself. I think it's very interesting. So that's the only reason why I would do this and why I would keep track of this. And the second that reading becomes a prestige for me, where I feel like I have to perform when reading, that's when reading becomes not as fun. I only read for fun. I never feel like I have to read. I feel often that I really want to read because I love to read. Oh, all my whipped cream has melted. That's kind of sad. Anyway, let's wrap this up. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like and comments and subscribe if you enjoy these types of videos. I've had a lot of fun this week and a lot of good reads, a lot of good recommendations. A Dance of Lies was definitely my favourite, the one I would recommend the highest. But if you're a fantasy reader who likes the storytelling, fantasy, mythical, fable-like type of stories, then Wild Reverence, it's poetic. It's really poetic and it's beautiful. If you like beautifully written books, Wild Reverence is that. I cannot complain of that. Like, writing wise, beautifully written, 5-star reads, no complaints, like in that aspect. The rest is just my personal opinion. I would then not recommend Wildcard for people who would feel like me, maybe. But maybe, I don't know. Reading is subjective. I don't know. I can't tell you what to read and not read. And I don't care what you read and not read because it's subjective, and so long as you're having a good time, then I'm very happy. I was supposed to wrap this up anyway. As always, have a nice day, a nice week, a nice month. Be kind to each other and to yourselves, and hopefully I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!